Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the Ted Show. This is actually Real Estate 411. Someday we're going to come up with a different name, but that's what I'm calling it. It's the time, one of my favorite times I get to spend with my dear friend Walt Key. Walt Key is an area leader with Epic, Mr. Hawaiian Vibin. He comes on and tells us all of the things that he lovingly refers to as nerdy, talks about numbers and jobs reports and the Fed and all the good stuff. Plus, gives us tips and tricks on you as a realtor, what you can do to do better in your business. So welcome back, Walt. How you doing?
I am doing great. Happy post Labor Day. I was laboring on Labor Day. I don't know. You probably were too.
I
Setting up
was.
some meetings. I had my first Zoom call this morning started at 8:30. It was great.
Wow.
Helped an agent get her business squared away, and then my very next Zoom call, I was talking to a lender about helping her grow her business in ways that she had never thought of. And then consultations, the whole thing. So it's been fun. It's been a good day.
That's awesome. Good. So update us. What's happening in the world? What happened? You have some personal story to share too.
We'll save that maybe to the end.
To the end
story. So a couple of things. I always like to talk about the data first, right? We get the nerdy stuff out of the way, and then we can just talk. If you were listening in late July or late August at the Jackson Hole speech, the market really responded well to the Fed's words, but everyone was quoting a different snippet. And I wanted to just read a quote that the Fed said at Jackson Hole on 22 August. And I think a lot of people missed it, but I really think it's why we saw such a great drop in rates. Listen to this. Overall, while the labor market appears to be in balance, it is a curious kind of balance that results from a marked slowing in both the supply of and demand for workers. This unusual situation suggests that downside risks to employment are rising, and if those risks materialize, they can do so quickly in the form of sharply higher layoffs and rising unemployment. End quote.
Interesting.
Now, why do I bring that up?
Yeah, tell us.
A lot of people were talking about how the Fed said, well, in this market of balancing risk, we might have to do something. And they were like, he didn't really say anything. He said there's maybe some, maybe he'll balance. And that's the soundbite they latched onto. But this quote is the Fed admitting we do see risk in the labor market, and if those risks materialize, they will materialize very fast, and it will lead to rising unemployment.
Yes.
Now, why does that matter? Well, the Fed only has two jobs: keep inflation in check and balance employment properly. That statement, in my opinion, is why we currently are sitting at a 92% probability of a 25 basis point cut on September 17th.
That's right.
Never mind the tariffs, never mind the inflation, never mind CPI at the moment. The Fed is looking very clearly at their secondary responsibility, which is we have to maintain the employment rate. And they flat out said, we see this risk, and that risk can happen quickly if we don't pay attention to it.
Yes.
92% probability of a rate cut on September 17th. It's coming. Interestingly enough, if you go look at the FOMC Fed Watch, for the October meeting, there's a 48% probability that will be at 25 basis point. There's a 48% probability will be at 50 basis points lower.
Wow.
Which would suggest probably a 25 basis point cut in September and a 25 basis point cut in October.
Yes.
This Friday, get this. We talk about jobs a lot.
Yes.
This Friday, BLS jobs report. The analysts are now saying it's going to suck. If you remember last jobs report, they were like,
I do.
We expect hundreds of thousands. And it was like, bro, 74,000. Hot garbage, right? The analysts are now expecting a lackluster jobs report. They expect only 75,000 jobs and a slight increase in unemployment. Unless that jobs report is 180 out, that is not going to change the expectation of that Fed rate cut in September. It's common.
Wow.
Now, the fun part is we've already seen, we talked about this earlier in the week, we've already seen the rates drop to as low as about 6.5, which is that spot where buyers start to feel like it's a good time to jump in. Now, it kicked up a little bit. I looked before the call. It's like 6.53, still very, very close. But the reason it jumped up the last few days is because federal court has said that most of the Trump tariffs are illegal, and the market didn't like that. They're like, well, does that mean that all of these billions of dollars we've collected on tariffs, does that mean we got to pay it back?
Right.
That federal court decision threw a little bit of uncertainty in the market, and the bond market responded accordingly. Now, I would argue that once this gets to the Supreme Court, I got to imagine that the Supreme Court is going to go, we are our sovereign country and we can levy tariffs.
Correct.
The end. And this is going to go away, and the bond market's going to rally, and the rates are going to come down again. But we don't quite know how fast that Supreme Court decision will happen. Will it happen between now and September 17th? I don't know. I believe I heard somewhere that Trump is asking for a quick turnaround on that, but quick at the Supreme Court is up for you never know.
You don't.
So lots of fun things happening in that regard. And then the other thing that I think the bond market didn't like, and I can agree with, actually. So I am not overly political, but I call it like I see it. The Fed governor, Lisa Cook, Trump basically came out through social media and said, I am firing her for cause, which a president can do. But the question is, what's the cause?
Right.
So for those who don't know, for those who haven't watched this, there is some allegations that Lisa Cook, Fed governor, may have committed mortgage fraud. Right. She owns 3 residences. Just yesterday, I think it was, they levied a second potential charge against her for one of the other 3 properties. But there are allegations of mortgage fraud.
Right.
There are there is no charges of mortgage fraud. There are no convictions of mortgage fraud. There is no proof of mortgage fraud. There are only allegations. And I think everybody in America, regardless of where you vote, would agree we don't fire people over allegations. We have a due process here.
Correct.
So I think that Lisa Cook, who is now suing and asking a federal court to uphold her position, will prevail. She will keep her position until such time where allegations turn into formal charges.
Correct.
There's no reason to remove her. So that was another kind of wrench in the spokes of the bond market, because they're just looking at this holistic data, tariffs, and courts saying the tariffs are illegal, and Trump saying I'm going to fire a governor, and the governor now suing to keep their position. All of these things, they're going, what is going on right now? So
I think a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah, no, for sure.
There's a feeling of what is going to happen today. I hear that a lot from people, and you just have to keep. I mean, my recommendation always in the coaching and just talking to people is, keep aware.
Yeah.
But nose to the grindstone. 100%. I mean, you just be aware. You don't want to be uneducated on what we talk about. You want to at least know something about what's going on.
Yeah.
But if that completely takes away from what you're doing in your daily activities in your job and what you're trying to accomplish, then you're missing the point.
It becomes counterproductive at that point.
Correct. And there are people who let it come.
Yeah, that kind of leads us into our last point about the personal story that I wanted to tell. I realize for a lot of agents, it's a hard market right now. For a lot of lenders, it's a hard market right now. But there's a lot of wait and see. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of this isn't nearly as busy as I was last year. And it's really easy when there's that kind of struggle to find ways to either cut corners, do something that maybe you wouldn't do, but you're just really pressed. Like, I got to close the deal. I got to make some money. Maybe I'll move some needles in the other direction. I want to share a story that happened to me today. And this is not me bragging. It happened today, and it was just opportune timing to share this story. So I received a referral for a seller lead yesterday. Now, yesterday was a federal holiday. I messaged him yesterday. He said, could we talk tomorrow? Absolutely. Let's talk tomorrow. So I got this gentleman on the phone and wanted to sell his house. And I just said, hey, tell me the story. What's going on? And he basically told me, I don't want to sell my house, but I'm in some really bad financial situation right now. And I kind of need to sell my house because of the finance situation. Now, any other agent on the planet would have said, okay, great. Let's sell your house. I need the commission anyway. Let's go. Instead, I said, well, tell me a little bit more about the situation. And I said, okay, that makes sense. What about this? What about that? What about this? By the end of the 20-minute phone call, I had basically told him, do not sell your house. Stay where you're at. Here's some advice on how to fix this financial situation. Here's some other options you should pursue first.
Right.
Rather than sell the home that you don't want to move out of.
Correct. That's awesome.
Now, why did I do that? Because it was the right thing to do. And I'm always focused on adding value to people first. My commission comes later, right? I have no fiduciary responsibility to that guy. I don't have any signed paperwork with that guy. That was you got a financial bind? Let me sell your house. I'll fix the problem. It just wasn't the right thing to do.
No, it was
now,
not.
Of course, I texted him right afterwards and I said, hey, it's great talking with you. Let me know if you have any more questions. I'm happy to help any way I can. If you know of anyone looking to buy or sell, I'm happy to help them. High five emoji, right? Like, we fixed your problem without you having to do what you didn't want to do, which is sell your house. Now, some of you have heard me say this before. We cannot add more value into the world than what the world will give us back in return. And this is why I wanted to tell the story. It's not about me being some super nice guy and convincing someone not to make money with me. I truly believe that we cannot add more value into the world than the world will give us back. Now, here's what happened. Today, within 2 hours of that conversation where I convinced someone not to list their house with me, I have 2 new listings. The same day I told somebody, don't sell your house, stay where you're at, let's fix your problem another way. That's the value for you. Yep. I had a gal call me. I've already signed the listing paperwork with her. The listing goes live on Thursday morning. I had a second gal call me. I have to sell my house. It's not even a question. We looked you up. You're the guy. You're local. You got great reviews. We're listing with you. Just tell me the numbers. I said, well, let me meet you tomorrow and we'll walk through it so you understand why the numbers are the numbers. That'll go live probably early next week. I could have convinced somebody that selling their house was the right decision because business is tight and I want the money.
Right.
I wouldn't have been wrong.
Right.
He called me to sell his house, but he just didn't know there was other options. And the value was putting those other options in front of him first.
That's right.
And in doing so, the world said, oh, you want to add some value today? Watch this sucker. And now I have 2 new listings coming on the market with people who genuinely want and need to sell their houses.
Beautiful thing.
Always. It doesn't matter what the interest rates are. It doesn't matter what the buyer dynamic is. It doesn't matter what the market's doing. Always focus on adding value to people first, and your business will do just fine.
Agreed. It's so true. I'm a huge believer in that. I've seen it over my career. There's a lot of, sometimes it appears to people will tell me, well, God, I know they cheat and do this. They charge extra points, Ted, da, 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 da. And look, they're making all this money. I'm like, I don't care when, but eventually that will catch up with them.
100%.
And if it hasn't already in some way, shape, or form, I promise you it will. In my experience, personally seeing it, I've never seen anybody get to the end and they hadn't had some sort of repercussion from doing the opposite of what you did today.
100%.
And so I'm a big believer in that.
Yeah. So it's been a fun day. I started my day helping an agent grow their business. No cost, just help, adding value. I then helped a lender grow their business, no charge, just adding value. I then convinced a seller not to sell their house with me. I made $0 from that transaction. And even trying to tell people, don't sell your houses with me, there's other options. I have more business today than I had yesterday.
That's it.
I'm not special, people. I don't do anything differently. I don't tell you to do anything differently than what I do. You got to focus on the relationships first. You got to be thinking about, how do I help people? How do I add value? It's not about me. It's about putting value out into the world. It will come back to you, I promise.
It always does. All right. Well, thank you for that. What is the best way that people can find out more about you and all the good things that you do?
If you Google schmuck in a Hawaiian shirt, I'm pretty sure I'm the face that pops up. The easiest way is the Linktree. Just go to Linktree, put in Walt Key. If you go to Facebook, put in Walt Key Realtor, you're going to find me pretty easily. I'm all over social. If you're an agent, if you're a lender, if you need help with your business, I am always happy to help. Don't be shy. Don't be reserved like, well, I'm embarrassed to ask for help. listen, we all need help at some point. We're here to help. Me and Ted both, right? We will both
Absolutely.
help you. That's what we're here
to do. Who you are. Absolutely. We'll help anybody. All right, my friend, I appreciate you. You guys tune in next time, which will be a little bit longer, so you'll just have to watch reruns, as we used to say back in the old.
We'll see if I can have enough bandwidth in Alaska. If we can get some bandwidth in Alaska next week, we'll do a live from Alaska. I'll have the glacier in the background.
You should absolutely. That would be awesome.
Hawaiian shirt with a glacier in the background. We'll do the call if I can get some bandwidth.
That would be beautiful.
We'll do it.
All right, my friend. Thank you so much. You guys, if you have questions for us or want more information or want help, please reach out to us. We mean it when we say we're really here to help you guys. It's a crazy world we live in right now, and real estate is all over the place, and some of you are struggling. I get it. And so we'd love to be an answer, or at least give you some solutions for whatever ails you. All right, my friend. Thank you so much. Guys, we'll be back